since, you know what, from now on, since it's a whole new ball game, I'm just going to do that. I'm not going to do the old intro. I'm just going to start out with that. But anyway, as I said, again, this is just for fun. This is just to do something special. I am not coming back to YouTube full time. I'm not coming back to YouTube part time. This is just something for fun. This is just something that I want to do because, again, I have never done the DVDs and the Blu-rays. I haven't done in this house yet, so we'll get to that in a second. But because I did that last video and everyone's like, oh, you're coming back, and no, I'm not. I am not coming back full-time or part-time. This is just something I want to do for fun. Okay, and the holiday, like Thanksgiving is on Thursday. The holidays are coming up. But I got a really good response and everything about the little room tour video that I did, and I said, since the holidays are coming up and everything, might do something a little extra, a little fun. And also, I have never worn this sweater before. It was just in my closet, so there's that. Now I'm turning into fucking Mr. Rogers or something. Anyway, so we're gonna get started today on the DVD and Blu-ray collection overview for the year of our Lord 2025. I have not done these in 5 years. The last time that I did the DVDs and the Blu-rays, I was in that shitty apartment. Since then, obviously, I moved into a wonderful house, and I have severely purged my collection. I actually purged when I first moved in here. I got rid of a ton of, mostly it was DVDs, it was stuff I had on Blu-ray, stuff I didn't need anymore. A lot of it was, like, I remember having some Buffy compilations, but all the extras were just ported over from the season set, so I didn't need any of that. So I purged a lot of that, and I've done, recently, over the last couple months, I did 3 I just did one last week before recording that video, and I've actually just kind of been grabbing random stuff to get rid of here and there. So yeah, it's been 5 years since I've done it. I've never done one in this house, and I've gotten rid of a lot of stuff. Now, as you can see, there's still plenty of DVDs left over because, the old adage of, well, why can't everything come out on Blu-ray? Do you hear yourself? Are you listening to yourself? It's impossible for many different reasons that we're not going to get into now. But we are going to start over here. This is the, as I call it, the OG shelf. This shelf was actually given to me by my grandparents. So I've had this for a long time. I had this when I first started on YouTube. Because when I did the first movie collection, when I had barely, well, no, it's not. I had a good chunk of stuff. Not what I have now, but this had all the VHS on it. But this has all DVD or Blu-ray, excuse me, and it's double stacked because I don't have room for just one. That's the goal. The goal is to, and I think when we redo that room, I think I'm going to build shelves into the wall and do one of each. That way I can see everything. Not that this is a problem, but it's just more convenient. But that's another video for another day. But it is double stacked, as you can see, and then the back is full. But and then there's some DVDs on top. But we'll get to that in a minute. But we're going to start here. I've had this shelf forever, and then I'm going to work my way around. So the next part, I think we'll just do these two, because this is Blu-ray, half DVD, and then all DVD box sets, DVD here, half. There we go, half DVD. It's backwards because it's flipped. Half DVD, half Blu-ray, Blu-ray, and some DVDs, and then in the corner is the wrestling. So we'll do that, and I had to move everything. And I'm surprised nobody complained, because I had the Green Ranger next to the White Ranger. Favoritism, I know. Sorry Sorry. Oh, sorry. And I do have the camera on the extension cord, so we won't have any problems. But let's go ahead and we shall get started. So I will do, before we get into the actual movies and such, when we get into the itinerary, so to speak, and I put that video up, like I keep saying, I already had people asking about shit like, what's this, what's that, I've never heard of that. If you have patience, if you wait, we'll get to it. But some people don't have patience. I know. What a shock. You know, people got mad because I made a bunch of silly videos where I made fun of random people on the internet, and nothing's fucking changed. So there we go. We had our first edit and blooper because my dumbass knocked the fucking microphone off the... See, this thing has been busted ever since I got it. I need a new battery. I need a new fucking microphone. But again, since I'm not doing YouTube really anymore, there's no point. But before we jump into this, we will do a little bit of a closer look here. So again, we got an old Predator video store promo that was a gift from a cousin. This is one of those horror boxes, you know, you buy, and it's got all the different stuff in it. So this is the Elvira one. And I love how it's anatomically correct. I'll say that. And this is the T-shirt. I've worn this. I can't. It shrunk so quickly, but because they make everything fucking cheap now. But I would wear it around, and I would just get the weirdest looks from people. I'm like, everybody loves Elvira's titties, so there's that. And then we have Arnold from Terminator 3. I got this at Universal Studios many years ago. And then we got this Steve McQueen. There we go. Bullet car. I got this at like a train hobby store. I went in there with a friend of mine, and I got that, and there was a Smokey and the Bandit one that I gave to my brother for Christmas or something, birthday, something like that. But anyway, we are going to get into it right now. So up top, start with some Blu-rays. Clearly these are all DVDs, but I have my John Carpenter collection up there. John Carpenter, as you all very well know, is my second favorite director. My favorite director, his name is also John, but it's John Woo, so there you go. So first up, we have, do it this way, Assault on Precinct 13, and these are all, except one, these are all the Shout Factory. Do you guys remember Shout Factory? You remember them? Remember them? Yeah, right. So we have Assault on Precinct 13. Great movie. I've always really enjoyed this. I've always thought this was really solid. It's a Western, which a lot of John Carpenter's movies are, so I can't complain because I love Westerns. And then we have, the Western genre. I know some people aren't big on them. Some people are big on them. I've always liked Westerns, whether it's the traditional Westerns of John Wayne and Clint Eastwood and Young Guns, or it's, a hybrid like Assault on Precinct 13. So there's that. And we have The Fog. Love The Fog. Actually, I've always, wouldn't say I love The Fog, but I've always really liked this one. I would love to see, if it still exists, the original cut of this movie. That apparently was so bad that they had to go and reshoot portions and stuff like that. But always enjoyed The Fog. Great cast. Love the musical score. Why are you throwing your Blu-rays? Because they're mine. Fuck off. Then a movie that certainly needs no introduction, Escape from New York. Which, as a kid, I liked L.A. more, because people always gave me shit. You like L.A. more than New York? I'm like, well, yeah. Get over it. But as an adult, I definitely like Escape from New York. Or not that I don't like Escape from L.A., because I do. Actually, you know what? Before I injure myself, which I've been known to do apparently, I am just going to put the camera down on the tripod. If it wants to go on the tripod, there we go. And I'll just grab them off the shelf and we'll go from there. And it would be so much easier to do it that way, and then you can all stare at my ass if you want. There. And then we have the Shout Factory version of The Thing, and we'll get into why I have, but it's The Thing, why I have the other one, but it's The Thing, you can't go wrong. So there's that. And then I have the Arrow release, because number one, the extra features are different from release to release. Number two, the Arrow release, this actually has a different transfer than the Shout Factory release, and this transfer was actually approved by Dean Cundy. The version on the Shout Factory release was not approved by him. A lot of people actually prefer this transfer than that one because it was approved, and I love that with the parka and everything. And then again, there's also different extras, but a lot of people actually prefer this transfer because it was approved by Dean Cundy. And then also, I have it in the DVDs, but you need to get the DVD because the DVD has the uncut commentary track. The Blu-rays, all the Blu-rays, whether it's the two that I just showed you, or even the Blu-ray that Universal put out, they all have the edited commentary track because there were references to Laserdisc, so they cut out that for some reason. And then there was quote-unquote questionable things said on the laser. Like, it's stupid liberal fucking bullshit, as you all very well know. And I need a drink of water already. So, again, oh, cool, it's got all these features. Yeah, they're still edited because Universal's a bunch of fucking pussies. And they edited down the commentary track. So there's that. Anyway, next up we have Prince of Darkness. I always really liked this one. Always thought it was pretty underrated in terms of Carpenter stuff. So there's that. And a bunch of his movies are underrated, as far as I'm concerned. And I know, damn, I know what you guys are thinking. Where's Halloween? Well, I have the box set with the box set, so that's why Halloween is not over here. So there you go. Sorry. And we have They Live, which is a documentary now, but classic. Always loved this movie. Even as a kid when I first saw it. I'm like, Roddy Piper fighting aliens? Like, this is awesome. And we have In the Mouth of Madness. Another solid movie I've always liked. And we have Village of the Damned, which is okay. I don't mind this movie. Don't mind it. Good little remake. Unfortunately, this is the last... Everyone knows this as, oh, that's the last movie Christopher Reeves did before his accident. Yeah, I know. Sorry, Christopher Reeve. I always call him Reeves because you think it would make sense, but it's actually just Reeve. My bad. Sorry to all you purists out there. Then we have Escape from LA, which John Carpenter and Kurt Russell were going to do a commentary for this, but their schedules didn't line up at the time. And Shout Factory didn't want to push the release and everything, so that's why this is the only John Carpenter, Kurt Russell movie that does not have a commentary track from them, because Shout Factory just simply did not want to... I don't know, it's Scream Factory, it's the same thing, tomato, tomato. They just didn't want to wait, so that's why there's no comment. That's the only movie that they did together that does not have a commentary track. Because, again... they were just too fucking lazy to just wait. I rather would have waited and gotten the commentary track instead of not getting one. So there you go. And then we have Vampires, which I absolutely love this movie. Always loved this movie. This was always one of my favorites. Excuse me. Ever since I was a kid. In the John Carpenter... universe, or whatever the fuck you call it. And then I did get when Shout Factory had this. I think this might have been one of the first ones they did when they started doing these like little box sets. But I did get the Big Trouble in Little China because this one has the record. And I think, like I said, don't quote me, but I believe this was one of the, if not the first, it was one of the first. So here's the record in here, which has the main theme and then the Alley War. I was hoping that they would have put the theme song, but I think they re-recorded it, and it's on green vinyl because it's the green from the movie. So there you go. And then we have, what's the Blu-ray in here? I love that artwork. This was definitely one of the better releases that they did because it has all the extra features from the Arrow release, and then it has more. So there's that, and then it came with the record. So I can't complain. But yeah, that, like I said, I think this was one of the first ones that they did like this. I think they did a lot of the John Carpenter ones with that, because they put, oh shit, don't mind me, just my knees, because they put like the records, because he re-recorded songs and stuff like that, which is cool. But I guess they couldn't get the rights to a lot of the originals, and I'm just shuffling some of this stuff down, putting it back together. That way it's easier when it goes back on the shelf. I try to make my life easy. There we go. Alright. So good old John Carpenter's done. Now we're going to get into Highlander. And this is DVDs because it fit nice on the shelf here, and I love Highlander. Highlander is one of my, the movie Highlander is, the original movie is one of my favorites. I'd put it in my top 25 movies, to be honest. Just a classic. And then because of that, I love the franchise. So we'll start, I know you can't see it, but we'll start here. So we have, that's alright, they're not going to fall because the wall is there. There we go. There we go. Get it? Come on. Same Better Days, but I've had this forever. The Immortal Edition DVD. I think the 4K has, because I think the Blu-ray has a different commentary, but the 4K has this commentary from back in the day. But the thing about this, it has the Queen and good old Anchor Bay. Can't go wrong there. When Anchor Bay was around, and they were awesome. And I've been loving the Dead Pit and Garrett. Born to Be Rad. I couldn't think of his YouTube name for a second. I'm loving their Anchor Bay stuff. But this one has the Queen music videos. I don't think any other release of Highlander has those music videos. Now, Queen's put out music video compilations and stuff, but this is the only release of the movie Highlander that has the music videos with it. And then you do get a bonus Queen CD, which only came in this release. So that's why I still kept this. I remember getting, I want to say I got this probably 20 years ago at this point. But I want to say it was either Saturday Matinee or Sam Goody. I could be wrong. It's one of the two. But yeah, the case has definitely seen better days. But this is what happens when you move and you put shit in storage and it's not climate controlled and all those issues. But a classic never dies. That's okay. And then we have 2 DVDs of Highlander 2 because different features. But first up we have the old Republic Pictures DVD, which I think Lionsgate owns them now, of Highlander 2, The Renegade. I always liked that they didn't call it the director's cut, they called it the Renegade version. I always thought that was interesting. And I just watched this version again. Because Highlander 2, when I first saw it, I hated it, like everybody else. Because I saw the theatrical version, which does not make any fucking sense. And I don't give a shit that they're aliens. I thought that was fucking retarded, excuse me. But no, not excuse me, it's true. I thought it was retarded that they made them aliens. And then, you know, the quickening was the sensation they feel when they kill someone. And then they changed what the quickening meant. And it's, no, what are you guys doing, you know? But Highlander 2 has grown on me because of these versions that made the movie better. So there you go. But this is the Renegade version, which there's extra features on here that never made it to this release or the Blu-ray. I think it has a booklet. Yeah, it does. So there's that. And then we have the special edition, which I had this before in the collection, but I got rid of it and then I got it back again. But I got this originally when it first came out, and they just they redid the special effects, and then I think they re-edited some of the scenes, but then the extra features on here are different from this, and then none of them ended up. I think the Blu-ray, I have Highlander 2 on Blu-ray, which is right over there, so you'll probably see that in the next part. But I don't think all the features from this made it to the Blu-ray. And it's the same fucking company. Like, again, I know I've been complaining about that ever since I started here on YouTube. But why do these fucking studios that keep re-releasing their movies again and again and again never put all the extra features on any of the release? Lionsgate is not getting rid of Highlander anytime soon, so you could forget about getting somebody else to do it, because Highlander 2, they gave it to Olive Films, but Olive Films isn't around anymore. But that release had none of the features, and the audio mix was fucking terrible because I had that release at one point. Sorry, damn. Because Lionsgate owns Highlander 1 and 2, and they're not doing anything with them. They'll put Highlander out on 4K and everything, but Highlander 2, they will not do it for whatever reason. Actually, I'm going to let this roll, but I'll be right back because I need to get something to sit on because my back's killing me. Anyway. Alright, moving on. Trying to make this, again, easy. Ow! There we go. Now I can actually see a little bit better. And then we have Highlander, The Final Dimension, which I always liked, because I liked that Mario Van Peebles and Christopher Lambert did another movie together. But it's basically just a remake of Highlander. But I do like this one. And this is the special director's cut, which I don't really, other than some of the special effects, I don't think there's anything different, to be honest. Because I've seen the PG-13 cut, which has never come out on home video, I don't think. I think even the VHS and the Laserdisc were the quote-unquote R-rated cut, but I don't think there was really anything different that got it the R. Because all the other Highlanders are rated R. For some reason, when this came out in theaters, it was PG-13. I don't know why they did that. Because none of the Highlander movies made money at the box office. They all did well on video and everything, and that's why they kept making them. But I don't know. These two, I don't know where the rights are, which is why they've never gotten Blu-rays here in America. The home video rights to Highlander, all of Highlander, because we'll get into that in a minute here with the series, they're all dicked up. Who knows where they are? So I don't know if this is ever going to get a Blu-ray. I think in Japan it got one. I might pick that up. But there's that. Then we have Highlander Endgame, which honestly, for the longest time, I was like, well, that was the best sequel. I think Highlander 2, honestly, is the best sequel. Highlander 2 is fun. Not that this one isn't fun, but as I've gotten older, I find it more disappointing because it's like, what? spoiler alert for a movie that came out 25 years ago, why the fuck did you kill off Christopher Lambert? Why didn't they team up to fight together? That would have made more sense, but, you know, whatever. But yeah, this got a Blu-ray in Europe because I have it, but it doesn't have any of the features, and again, it's the same fucking company. Like, I don't understand the logic there. Like, it doesn't make any fucking sense. You own the movie, you put it out, and then you don't put any of the fucking extra features on. Now, does that make a lick of sense? The answer is no. So there's that. So that's it for the movies. Now we're going to do everything else. And I'm just going to grab these and do it this way. Now we have Highlander the series, which is one of my all-time favorite TV shows. So we'll get to them later, but they did put out the first 3 seasons on Blu-ray. The quality is absolutely fucking terrible, just saying. And I think that you can only get them on the website, and the website's not around anymore, so they're out of print. But I actually got all 3 in the wild in Colorado when I was out there for the Army. The first season, they put all the extra features from the DVD. Season 2 and 3, they didn't do that. Again, it's the same fucking people. I would love to go talk to these people, whether it's the people that did Highlander or anything else, and say, why are you all so fucking stupid? Like, you know what I mean? So there's that. Anyway, we have season 2 of Highlander, and I love these. And once again, good old focus. There we go. Good old Anchor Bay. But I loved these, how they did them, and the packaging on here, and they got tons of extra features, and these these are good. These DVDs are still awesome. Then we have season 3, where the show really got good. Season 3 might be my favorite. I don't know. I haven't watched these in a while, but yeah, season 3 and 4. Well, 3 and 4 were the best. Season 1 and 2 were good. The show's finding its legs and everything, but season 3 and 4 is where they hit their stride. And then they didn't. We have season 5. This is where the show started to go downhill. It's got a bunch of good episodes. I think this has my favorite. No, season 4 has my favorite episode. It's the 2-part episode where Duncan MacLeod turns evil. But season 5 is where it started to drop off, and then it really started to drop off here with the last season, because they were trying to basically do like a spin-off, and then they ended up doing something different, and then Adrian Paul's not even in half of the episodes. But there is some moments, but season 6 is where the show went off the rails completely. And then we have these 3, which are quote-unquote movies. What they did was they actually went back and re-edited some of the 2-part episodes, and they added some stock footage and some stuff to make these movies out of them. But these have commentaries and interviews and stuff which aren't on the other ones, and plus they're, again, the movie edits. So we have Unholy Alliance, and I remember seeing these in the $5 bin at Walmart back in the day. So there's that. Then we have Counterfeit, which they're both, the first 2 are from the 2nd season, because the 2nd season had multiple 2-part episodes. And then this is Finale, which was supposed to be the series finale, but the show got picked up for, I think, another 2 seasons, and then the 6th season they were like, oh, let's just do another season. Okay. And once again, Anchor Bay. I had them on VHS. I got rid of them because they actually put out the entire series on VHS in really nice season box sets. I want to get those again, so one day I will. And then we have the Best of Highlander, which has different extra features, but they also This one they put out on VHS back in the day too, and they did different interviews and stuff. But this was cool. I like these as well. And then they did the Ultimate Collection, which is another best of set, but this has different extra features. So there you go. And they were supposed to put the entire series on Blu-ray. I don't know what happened. There's a promo for it here on YouTube. There were press releases that came out, and it just never came out. It was done. It was ready to go. I don't know what happened, but again, that is the sad tale of Highlander, is the home video rights are all fucked up for everything. And then we have the cartoon. I love this cartoon. I used to watch the ever-living shit out of this as a kid when it was on. It was great to be a child in the 90s. We had the Highlander TV series. We had the Highlander cartoon. The first movie was constantly on television as a kid, so there you go. But this is the quote-unquote movie. They just edited a bunch of the episodes together like they would typically do back in the day, and then we actually have the series proper, which this just got a Blu-ray release. And I did put it on my Christmas list, so hopefully Santa Claus brings this to me. But I love this cartoon. I absolutely do. I don't care what anyone says. And then we have the Search for Vengeance anime, which this was supposed to kick off like a series, but it never happened. So we just got this, which I actually like this. And it does have one actor from the series. Jim Burns is in this, the guy that played Dawson. So it did have a connection to Highlander more than just the name. But yeah, this was supposed to start an anime series, and it just didn't happen. So we have that. Alright, so that was the top shelf. So now we're going to get into, or the top of the shelf proper. But the actual top shelf here, it's in the front, it's all Jackie Chan. We'll do that, and then we'll get into the stuff in the back, and then we'll just go down the way here. So the idea is to, again, do like 1 hour segments. That way I'm not killing you guys, and try to get as much done as we can. But the problem is, you guys know me, I like to rant and rave and talk about nonsensical shit like Highlander. But that's why you guys like this. So there you go. I do this for you. I don't do this shit for me. But we're going to start with Jackie Chan, if these don't fall. See? I spoke too soon. I know what some of you are thinking, like, there's a better way to do it. Yes, I know, but I don't have the fucking room right now because I'm trying to reorganize shit and work on a, backlog of shit that I've had for years that I haven't watched yet and all that. So I wish I could be like you. I wish I could be cool like you and be so simple, but I'm not simple. So there's that. I mean, I am, but I'm not. So anyway, Jackie Chan certainly needs no introduction. One of the all-time greats. I don't think anybody would disagree. So let's go. Alright, first up we have the 88 films release of Snake in the Eagle Shadow. I love the artwork on all these releases. But this is one of the two movies that made Jackie Chan a superstar. But I kind of like this more than the next one, to be honest. That's just me. Not that I don't like the next one, but I don't know. It's just something about Snake in the Eagle Shadow that I quite like. So there's that. And then I have... Hey, did anybody remember Twilight Time? Remember they were going to make this big comeback and then it never happened, but they did put out some decent stuff. I do have some of their other stuff. You'll see it. You can see a couple of them in there. But we have the double feature of Snake in the Eagle Shadow and Drunken Master, because Snake in the Eagle Shadow, the 88 films release, is cut because the scenes of the animals fighting each other, because they used real animals and they really fought each other, and some of them actually died, those poor animals. In Europe, they have laws that prevent animal cruelty from being shown on film, which I completely, wholeheartedly, 100% agree with because I'm an animal lover. But for the sake of preservation, for the sake of entertainment, I did keep this because it is the uncut version of the film. So again, from a moral standpoint, I agree with Europe on that. Other things, certainly not. But from an artistic standpoint and a film preservation standpoint, I want the uncut version of the movie, so that's why I have this. Because I think all the extra features on here, which is just a commentary for Drunken Master, that's on, I think, the next release you'll see. So there's that. And then I have the Eureka Drunken Master. Love that artwork as well. Eureka and 80, yeah, they've slowed down. I guess they ran out of movies to do, but they've really slowed down on the Asian stuff, which again, I assume it's because they ran out of movies to do, so there's that. But yeah, the commentary from the Twilight Time release is on here, but again, that's my favorite word, you guys remember just as well as I do. I want to keep Snake in the Eagle Shadow because it is the uncut, proper version of the film. You know, again, from a artistic film preservation standpoint, it is uncut. You guys know how I feel, so there's that. But I'm not down for animal cruelty, you know that. But Drunken Master doesn't have that, so there you go. But Drunken Master came out the same year. They were the two movies that made Jackie Chan a superstar, because before that he was just a Bruce Lee ripoff, which is okay because I like some of those movies. But then he proved, you know, hey, I want to be Jackie Chan, not Bruce Lee 2.0. And then, because you can never have enough Jackie Chan movies in your collection, I do have the Hong Kong Rescue release. Did not get this from Hong Kong Rescue because fuck that guy, because that guy is a piece of shit. He's a scumbag. I got this from his clone or whatever. So I have all the Hong Kong Rescue stuff. So there you go. Because this one has different extra features and stuff. Now the weird thing is, when I watch these on a Blu-ray player, they're fine. When I watch the movies on like a PlayStation 3 or 4, it plays at the wrong frame rate, and sometimes it'll start at chapter 4, so I have to go back. I don't know what the hell. That's an encoding issue. I don't know what's up with that, but if I play it on my Blu-ray player behind me, it's fine. Next up we have Fearless Hyena, which this is pretty fun. I like this one. Not bad. This is one of the early Jackie Chan movies. I think this was, this was his directorial debut, and I should know that because I reviewed this, so there's that. But yeah, I like a lot of these early Jackie Chan movies, because the only ones that really get talked about before really Project A is Snake in the Eagle Shadow, Drunken Master, to an extent Fearless Hyena, and then this one, Young Master, which I always really like. Love that artwork, and I know people call them the chunky boxes. I don't call them that. I know they call them what, the rigid slip cases or whatever. No, it doesn't say that on here, but I like these box releases. Again, I know, oh, they're chunky boxes. Okay, can you maybe like think of something yourself, or do you have to copy what everybody else does on the internet? But I like when 88 was doing them like this, so they don't do them like that, I think, for most releases anymore. And then we have his American debut, Battle Creek Brawl, or as it was released here in the States, The Big Brawl. I like this. Again, they did not know what they were doing with Jackie Chan. They should have just let him direct the film because he knew what he was doing. But I like this film. I can't complain about it. It's got Mako. It's directed by Robert Klaus. Well, it's directed by Robert Klaus, who is credited as the director of Enter the Dragon. But you and I all know who really directed Enter the Dragon. And it wasn't Robert Klaus, so we'll leave it at that. But you know what I mean. And then we have Project A 1 and 2. I love the first Project A. Project A 2's, it's good, but I don't think it's as good as the first. But I quite like the first one. Now, the shitty thing is when I bought it, the guy threw the J card away, so that's why this one doesn't have the J card. But I love the first Project A. Maybe it's because Sammo Hung and Yoon Biao are in it, so there's that. Like I said, Project A2 I like as well. I just don't like it as much as the first movie. I think there's something missing, to be honest. That's just my opinion. Maybe people agree, maybe people don't agree. I could really give a fuck all, so there's that. Guys, I stopped giving a fuck more than I already did, so there's that. You're just going to have to get over it. Then we have the Hong Kong rescue of Project A. Because again, there is different features. From Jacob the fucking liar. And it's funny because earlier I was trying to see if there was any stuff still here on YouTube about him, and there was a couple videos. I guess people deleted their videos or whatever, but there was still a couple videos about him on here, and they were not very pleasant, I will say that. But fuck that dude. That guy, I ordered Hard Boiled and The Killer. I never got them. I think I took a wash of $30. I'll get over it, you know. If I need $30, you know, I'll go become a stripper or something, but I have $30, I'll say that, you know what I mean? I'm not hurting for money. But fuck that dude, so there's that. Anyway, Wheels on Meals, love this movie. Definitely, but this, I don't know, can never decide if I like this or Dragons Forevermore when it comes to the, you know, the three dragons right there, as they're called. But, I don't know, Wheels on Meals, love this film. I don't know why the fucking Laserdisc is so expensive, but anyway. And then I have the Hong Kong rescue version of this. Because why not? Like I said, I got all of the Hong Kong rescue stuff. I think you could still find them. There was a, I don't know if it's a guy or a girl, because the name was Aisha. Maybe it's a girl. I don't know. Maybe it wants to be a girl. That's not real anyway. Guys, nothing's changed. But they were selling them on eBay. You might still be able to find them if you're interested, so there's that. Then we have the 88 films release of The Protector, which was the second American Jackie Chan film, which I know Jackie Chan does not like this movie. He has been so vocal about his hatred of this movie, but I kind of like it. And this was actually the first Jackie Chan movie I ever saw, so there's that. But I always dug this one. This was, if they made a Dirty Harry movie with Jackie Chan, that's what this would be. I'm not complaining, so there's that. And then we have the Shout Factory double feature. This was the early ones that they did of Jackie Chan, of Protector and Crime Story. Because once more, this has, I lost my damn train of thought. This has different extras from this one, but both of these actually have the alternate Jackie Chan version that he did. So there you go. And then Crime Story I always really liked, because that was a more serious Jackie Chan film. So there you go. And then we have Heart of Dragon, where Jamaral 81, if you're watching, we were messaging, and he's like, yeah, the movie where Sammo Hung plays a retarded person. I'm like, well, yes. So there you go. But not a bad movie. I like this one. And then we have the Eureka Police Story 1 and 2. Absolutely love these. Police Story is what made Jackie Chan a legend. So Drunken Master and Snake in the Eagle's Shadow made him a superstar. Police Story made him who he is today. So there you go. Because he said, I want to just make my, not that he wasn't doing it before, but you know, he said, I don't need America. I'll make my own cop movie, which is why it's just called Police Story, and the rest is history. And Police Story 2 is a really solid sequel. But it's funny because 1 and 2 are not my favorites. my favorite you will see in a little bit, but I love all the Police Story movies. Well, the first four I love because they were all connected, and then he did some other ones later, which we'll get into. Some are good, some are not good. So there you go. And then I have the Criterion release, because once more, Into the Breach, my friends, there's different extra features. I know, go figure. So there's that. And then I have the Hong Kong Rescue. And like I said, this was one where if I watch it on a PlayStation, it skips to chapter 4, so I have to go back, and then it plays at the wrong frame rate because it's all herky-jerky. So I don't know what the hell's up with that again. That is an encoding issue. That is whoever made the Blu-ray's fault, not mine. I do have the official release of this. I just haven't watched it yet. It's over. We'll get to it in another segment. But this is the Hong Kong Rescue of Armor of God, aka Operation Condor 2, when it came out here in America, because for some reason they released the first one, or the second one first, and then the first one second. Why? I don't know. You can ask Harvey Weinstein why he's an asshole, so there's that. But I like the second one more, so there you go. But I do have the 88 films release of this, I just haven't watched it yet. Then we have Dragons Forever from 88. Love that artwork. And like I said, I don't know which one I like more, this or Wheels on Meals, so sorry. Then we have Miracles, which was him doing like The Godfather, or I cannot, maybe it says it on the back here, it doesn't. A Pocket Full of Miracles, yeah, it's Jackie Chan remade it, but I like this. This was one that came out here in the States and they really hyped it, they really pushed it. I remember that back in the day. And it's also one of the few that they released the American cut, and then they also released the original Hong Kong cut. So there you go. Because they didn't do that a lot with Jackie Chan movies. They typically would re-edit them and piss Jackie Chan off. So there's that. Then we have Armor of God 2 Operation Condor from 88 Films. They just did a re-release of this. I do want to get that because that has way more extra features. I'll still keep this one though because it's Operation Condor. But I loved it. I remember back in the day when it premiered on Fox watching it, and I still love it to this day. And then I also have the Echo Bridge. Remember Echo Bridge? Anybody remember them? Because they got a hold of the Miramax catalog. The reason why I have this is because they did not release the American version on the 88 Films release for whatever reason. I don't know why. I don't know if it's the only one, but it's one of the few that they did not put out the American cut. Again, I don't know why that is. I looked online. I couldn't find that information because Weinstein was selling off everything to pay for his lawyers and shit. So I don't know why that one wasn't a part of the deal. So there you go. Oh well. And then we also have the Echo Bridge of Super Cop, which is actually my favorite of the Police Story movies. And it's my favorite Hong Kong Jackie Chan film. So there you go. But the reason why I have this is because there's an interview with Michelle Yeoh from back in the day, which never ended up on any of the other releases. So there's that. And I just ordered the Eureka release of this. So that's coming in the mail. And then I have the Hong Kong Rescue release. Which, hold on, let me see. So the Michelle Yeoh interview is not on here, so I don't know why. So yeah, I don't know what the whole reason why Operation Condor couldn't get the American cut on the 88 Films release, because the 88 Films release of Super Cop has the American version, so, and then I think some of the other ones do as well. I don't know why only Operation Condor didn't get one, so there you go. And then we have City Hunter, which is, this movie is so fun. This might be the purest comedy that Jackie Chan ever did, to be honest. But I love this movie. This one is a barrel of fun. And this is from Eureka. But it's got Richard Norton, rest in peace. Gary Daniels is in it. And this is the one. And of course the very attractive Joey Wong. But this is the one where they do the Street Fighter 2 fight where Jackie Chan dresses up as Chun-Li. Because everyone's like, well, what's that movie? I'm like, it's City Hunter. How do you not know? But there you go. And then we have the 88 release of Crime Story. Again, always, from the first time, I think I rented it, or, no. I found the DVD when Dragon Dynasty did it. I still have that release, actually, because there's features on there that didn't port over. Weinstein, what are you doing, dude? Don't rape women. Don't be creepy with fucking women, and stop holding Jackie Chan movies hostage, you fuck. Anyway. But most importantly, don't rape women. There's that. I think I found that DVD really cheap, and I just have always liked this. I think it's a really solid movie. Jackie Chan doing something a little more serious. There is comedy, especially towards the end of the film, but this was him trying to do something more serious, way before was that one he did here that wasn't good? The Foreigner. Way before he did that. Excuse me. Then we have Drunken Master 2, or as it's known here in America as The Legend of Drunken Master. I guess, again, like with Super Cop, they don't want to get rid of the rights because this is the only Blu-ray that came out here in America. Warner Archive put out the Hong Kong version, but apparently the quality was terrible and it did not sell well, so they didn't do any more. They did Mr. Nice Guy, which I have, and then I think they did Pedicab Driver with Sammo Hung, but those were the only Golden Harvest movies they put out because, again, apparently the quality was terrible on them and they didn't sell well. But also, why, I don't think this one ever got, like, I know 88 didn't do it, I know Eureka, I guess this one's still being held hostage for some reason because this is the only release that I have that's decent. And I think, yeah, there's an interview with Jackie Chan. But this came out many years later in America, because originally it was 94, but this came out in America in 2000. But while I'm thinking about it, let me pull my phone out over here. Because, like I said, I don't think that movie, which is odd because it's one of the great Jackie Chan movies, it's one of his best movies. You would think that one would be a prime candidate for whoever to do it. Yeah, I'm looking now. It's got nothing. Not even, I mean, in Japan, there's a Blu-ray that's got all the different edits on it, but, I mean, that's cool. You know. But even in Europe, I guess Disney still owns it because the European Blu-ray is Studio Canal. And I think it might be licensed through Disney. And it's not the Hong Kong version. The Hong Kong version came out here in America, but like I said, it was the Warner Archive, and the quality was terrible from what I understand. And it didn't do well, which is why they stopped making them. So I guess Disney still has their hands on Drunken Master 2, so that's why we've never gotten a proper release for it. Go fucking figure. So there's that. Anyway, and then these next three, I guess it's the same thing. But we have Rumble in the Bronx. I guess Warner Brothers, focus, thank you. Warner Brothers does not want to give these up or whatever because they're bare bones. And I think, again, overseas there's never been a super duper Blu-ray of the, and these are like the four that, so Drunken Master 2, Rumble in the Bronx, First Strike, which is the next one, and Mr. Nice Guy. I guess they're being held hostage by their studios because they're fucking stupid. You know what I mean? Because like I said, I don't even think this one has a super duper Blu-ray to my knowledge, and just because I'm not here on YouTube, I'm still in this game. I'll never be out of this game doing Blu-ray physical media and stuff. I will never ever stop doing this. But yeah, you would think that this movie would have some kind of special edition at this point. I don't even think there's a fucking trailer on this Blu-ray. Maybe, but maybe when the Saudis buy Warner Brothers, that'll be the first movie they do. I doubt that, but we'll see. Then we have First Strike, which is Police Story 4, which again, I'm gonna look these up because I wanna make sure here. But I love this movie. I absolutely love Police Story 4. Jackie Chan with the koala bear underwear and driving the car on the boat and like fucking love First Strike. But yeah, let me. Rumble in the Bronx, nothing. Nothing. Here, overseas, nothing. Bare bones. There is a trailer. Okay. It'll be easier to look up Police Story. Because DVD Compare is actually working for a change. Jackie Chan's First Strike, for the most part, nothing. In Germany, you can get it. It's got the Hong Kong version, and then it's got the American version. Okay, but that's it. No extra features. And then before I show Mr. Nice Guy. It's got the American version and the Japanese version. So it doesn't even have the original Hong Kong version. Yeah, so Warner Brothers, get your fucking... Warner Brothers and Harvey Weinstein, what are you doing with these Jackie Chan movies? You fuckers. And then we have Mr. Nice Guy, which, again, this is the archive collection, so they were too lazy to give it a proper release. But it has, like I said, it has the American cut and then it has the Japanese cut on there. So it doesn't even have the original Hong Kong version because they're fucking lazy. And then they don't want to release it or give it to somebody else because they're fucking stupid. And we have the Rush Hour trilogy, Rush Hour 1 and 2, all day, every day. Rush Hour 3 has grown on me, and I think this has a bonus disc. Because I haven't watched these in forever. Yeah, it does. I don't remember what's on the bonus disc, but there's 3 in the bonus disc. Why is... Okay, yeah, so... Sorry, back up. The extra features for Rush Hour 3, and the bonus disc, I don't know why they didn't just put everything for Rush Hour 3 on one disc. It is Blu-ray, and then there's Rush Hour 2, and then the movie disc for 3. And then we have Rush Hour. So, there you go. And again, also, why have Rush Hour 1 and 2 not gotten special super duper deluxe Blu-rays by themselves? I don't know, maybe that's coming down. So, again, Warner Brothers, what are you doing? You're not making any money on There you go. And we have Who Am I? I love this movie. I remember when it came out here, it didn't go to theaters, it was straight to video, but HBO I think had the rights to it. They used to show the shit out of this movie, but I love Who Am I? And this is an Australian release because it never came out here. Because I guess overseas Sony doesn't own it. Here they're fucking lazy. But this was another one that I'd kill for a special edition of Who Am I? Love Who Am I? And then we got the double feature of Shanghai Noon and Shanghai Nights. I reviewed these right before I got kicked off here at YouTube because I said a word that people didn't like. Oh, gee willikers, my pussy hurts. Grow up, bitch. Anyway. But I like these movies. I always liked these films. So there you go. And then we have new Police Story, which I do like this one. Police Story Lockdown was okay, but I did like this one. A little more serious, a little darker, a little edgier. So there's that. And then last but not least with Jackie Chan, we have Skip Trace with him and Johnny Knoxville, and it was directed by Rennie Harlan. So there you go. So that actually puts us at about an hour. So I will leave it at that, and then actually that's a great place to stop because I didn't even start on that shelf yet. So I will we'll do an edit. Well, I won't do. Well, yes, but no. But this will be the end of part 1. So join me in part 2. We'll get into. Oh, don't bump the camera, Fox. We'll get into that stuff up there. So we'll talk to you on the next one later.